Scotland are going to the World Cup, so arguably every player deserves a 10 rating, but of course it doesn't work that way, so let's rate them individually. Welcome back, guys, to the channel, and honestly I feel like the likes of McTominay and McLean, they should probably get 10s just for their goals alone, but I don't think that would be fair. I need to take the bias out of it. I need to take the moment out of it. I need to take the great goals out of it. And we're going to go through the players one by one. And I'll give my opinion on who I thought was the best player. Because sometimes the best player doesn't necessarily score any goals. But when you've got such good goals like we did in this game, I mean, you're almost tempted. Like, even if someone's got an average game, if they score an absolute screamer, I mean, you're almost tempted to bump their rating up a few points. And that could be the case in this match. As for Steve Clarke, some people would argue he deserves a 10 for getting us to the World Cup, but was this really a managerial 10 out of 10 performance based on this game? I'm not too sure. Clarke doesn't allow those free goals. No, those are like free world-class goals. It's not like Clarke has had a major effect on them. So I could have given everybody a 10, but I thought it'd be fair and go through them one by one. By the way, I'm not trying to take anything away from Steve Clarke, but like, we did score three great goals, 3 wonder goals that weren't necessarily down to tactics or down to the game plan or anything like that. That's the point I was making. So, sometimes moments of brilliance change games, and that's what I think happened here tonight, because I don't think we were fantastic overall in terms of the performance. I don't think we blew Denmark away, but on 3 moments, we had 3 moments of brilliance, and that was enough to win us the game. So I will factor that in to the ratings. But we're going to start with Craig Gordon. I thought Gordon had a pretty good game. I think across both matches he's been pretty good. Couldn't really do anything for either goal. The penalty, he goes the wrong way. The second goal, he just can't get to it. It's placed in the bottom hand corner. He made a couple of good saves. Other than that, and I think Gordon did alright. I'll give Gordon a 7 out of 10. I'll give him a 7 out of 10. I think what he could do, he did pretty well. So, I'll give him a 7 out of 10. Up next, we've got Aaron Hickey. I'm going to stick with a 7. I think a 7's fair. He came off for Kieran Tierney late in the game. Thank God that he did, because then Kieran Tierney put that wonderful left-footed shot right into the corner past Kasper Schmeichel. So, I'll give Hickey a 7. Right, McKenna and Hanley. First half, thought they were all over the place. Not quite sure if they improved in the second half, to be honest. Just never really felt like we were safe with them, but we got to half time without conceding, and then obviously they can't really do anything with the penalty. You know what? I'll give them both a 6. I'll give McKenna a 6 and I'll give Hanley a 6. But I thought we did look a little bit ragged in that first half, even though we got in with a clean sheet. I mean, at the time when Højlund went through and he was offside, Gordon had to make the save. It's like, how much space were they giving him? And that was fractional, I don't even know if he was offside. But either way, yeah, McKenna and Hanley can get a 6. I can't really I don't think I can blame them for any of the goals, but I don't think they look that convincing as a partnership, and Hanley didn't look convincing with Suter either. That's definitely a position I think we need to try and fix for the World Cup, and that doesn't even necessarily mean in terms of personnel. I just think we need to collectively do better defensively, or we are in trouble, because we've conceded 2 goals against Denmark, we've conceded 3 goals against Greece, and if we take on like the top teams in the World Cup, the way we're defending at the moment, we're probably going to get absolutely pummeled. So that's not me saying that you get rid of Suter, you get rid of McKenna, you get rid of Hanley, but maybe we can do something, maybe put an extra man in there. I don't know, maybe we go back to the 5 at the back, or maybe put Kieran Tierney in at centre-back, or something. There's options we could look at, but I do think we look a bit shaky in that centre-back area. Right, up next we've got Andy Robertson. He was crying. I mean, good for him, I guess, but I don't think he was that impressive. He gave away the penalty. I'm going to give Andy Robertson a 6. It was his 90th cap. I'm glad that he is going to the World Cup. I think he deserves it. But, overall, didn't think he was that good tonight. He has genuinely been, though, a world-class player, for quite a few years. So, you know what, I'm glad that he's going to the World Cup. He's been great. He's won Premier League titles with Liverpool. He's represented Scotland fairly well. He's been the captain. It's nice to see that he will get to a big stage, because I think this was his last chance of doing so. Right. Up next, we've got Christie. I thought he was probably my man of the match in the game against Greece tonight. I didn't think he was that good. I thought he was one of the weaker players in our squad. So I'm going to go and give Christie a 6. I don't think he was bad by any means. I don't think anybody was really bad tonight. Even if they were, we won, so I'm feeling generous. But yeah, for me, I don't think it was Christie's greatest game, but he was all right. Ferguson, I thought he was like one of the lowest rated. I think he was like the lowest rated midfield / attacking player in the first game, and this game he wasn't that much better. Kind of been disappointed with Lewis Ferguson. Great form in Serie A, but the last couple of matches for Scotland, he's not really performed. He's not hitting the heights that he is domestically in the Italian league. So I will give Ferguson a 6. Right, moving on to McTominay. Don't think he had the best game all round. Don't think he blew anybody away. It wasn't the best Scott McTominay performance I've ever seen. However, it was the best Scott McTominay goal I've ever seen. It was one of the best goals I've ever seen at Hampden, period. Maybe one of the best goals I've ever seen, ever. Especially when you factor in the occasion and how important it was. So for that reason, I'm going to give Scott McTominay an 8. It was a great goal, an absolutely fantastic goal. Moving in to John McGinn. Didn't go on the score sheet tonight, but again, I thought he was very good at holding up the ball. Many times he would just get it and bring players in, just hold on to it, hold possession, keep the ball, use his ass to manoeuvre around the pitch and to block players off. He's very good at that. And he brings others into the game, brings others into the attack. He's very good at retaining possession. And, you know, he's maybe not the most flashiest of players, but he does, you know, he grinds. He does the hard part of football, and he does it well. So I'm going to give him again an 8. I personally thought he was the man of the match. Ben Doak started very well, got the assist for McTominay. Unfortunately, didn't last long. Got taken off very soon, actually. I think it was like within the first 10 minutes, 12 minutes, something like that. I'll give Doak a 7. He got the assist, but unfortunately wasn't on the pitch that long. Dykes, I was content with Dykes starting. I would have preferred Shankland, but I think Dykes is an upgrade on Adams, so I was like, fair enough. It's not the man that I want, but it's better than the man that I don't want, so Dykes was alright. I'll give Dykes a 6. He tried, you know, that's all you can really ask for when he came on. He did his bit. Kenny McLean, I thought he'd done okay. There's been times I've said I don't want Kenny McLean in the team. Anyone but Kenny McLean. I'm sick of Kenny McLean getting picked. Surely Kenny McLean needs to get filtered out the squad now. He's getting older. How many more campaigns has Kenny McLean got? Why is Kenny McLean taking away spaces from other, younger, more promising Scottish players? But tonight he basically told me, Jambo Bear, shut the fuck up, because I'm Kenny McLean and I'm taking us to the World Cup, and that's exactly what he did with that 4th goal, and it was an absolute belter. So I'm sitting here and I've got to say, Kenny McLean, you can take up as many places in the Scotland squad as you want. You can get as many caps as you want. Well, you continue to do shit like that, then I've got no say in whether you should be selected or not. And honestly, personally, I wouldn't have this guy until tonight. I would not have had this guy in the World Cup squad if we did qualify. However, I think after him coming in and playing such an important role and playing for the majority of this game, and then us going on to win it thanks to his screamer for the halfway line, it would be crazy if he didn't get selected. So even though I think there is better midfielders and I think we need to move past Kenny McLean, I'm all for Kenny McLean getting picked. I'm all for Kenny McLean getting put into this World Cup team, and I think he deserves to go to the World Cup now in the summer. And if he doesn't go, then in my opinion that would be pretty harsh, and I'll give Kenny McLean, I'll give him an 8. I'll give him an 8. I thought the goal was great. Shea Adams came on. I don't think he really done anything. Actually, he had one chance that he missed. It's going to be a 5 from me. Yep, Shea Adams. And I feel like that is slightly being generous. He had that one diving header where he was nowhere near the target, so did hee-haw. Shankland, I don't think had many chances. Had a couple of decent touches. I think his hold-up play was not bad. Obviously scored the goal. tap in for about 2 yards out, but he was in the right place at the right time, and he got the right connection on it. We've seen players miss for there. Chris Uluemo, for fuck's sake, we've seen him put that wide. So, anyone can miss from 2 yards out, but Shankland ain't missing for 2 yards out. An important goal. I'll give Shankland a 7. What Shankland was no bad in the time that he was on the pitch. Kieran Tierney had the least amount of time of anybody, but arguably scored the most important goal. Even though Kenny McLean got the 4th that sealed the deal, Tierney's the one that, he's the one that got us back in front, and what a phenomenal goal it was. On the left foot, curls it right in, past Michael, past the defenders, straight into the corner, keeper no chance. It's a perfection strike from Kieran Tierney. I mean, he could probably hit this like 50 times and only score it once. And the fact that he scored it the one time we needed it. So I'm going to give Tierney an 8. Wasn't on the pitch long, but I thought he looked alright when he came on to replace Hickey. And the goal alone, I think, is worthy of an 8. So the three screamers, I've automatically kind of given 8s. And I thought McGinn was the best player, so I've given him an 8 as well. And that seems to be how these scores are reflecting. Let me know what you guys think down below. Am I being harsh here? Am I being too kind? What do you think of the ratings? People are going to think I've got an agenda against Adams. I just think he's shite. But, aye, that's my ratings right there. And then we move on to Steve Clarke. Right, we needed to win. We did win. We started the game very well, very positive. Then after about 10 minutes, unfortunately, we kind of just dropped off. Created nothing really after that. Then we give away the penalty. Then at 1-1, we try and get back into the game. We do. I'll give Clarke credit. At 1-1, he makes 2 substitutions, 2 attacking substitutions. He brings on Shankland and he brings on Adams, and I was not expecting that, especially not that early, so I'll give him credit for that. My problem is, as soon as we go 2-1 up, he decides to sit back again, very defensive, and then when it's 2-2, obviously we need to go forward again. So it was like, why didn't we just try and we had a man advantage, at 2-1. I think we should have really tried to put Denmark to the sword. When we scored, there was still 12 minutes to go. I think we should have been looking for that 3rd goal, but Steve Clarke, being so negative, decided, nah, we'll sit back for the next 12 minutes. You factor in injury time, you could be looking at 17, 18 minutes, and he thought, with a man advantage and a goal advantage, the best thing to do would be to sit back. For me, you've got the momentum, you've got the 2nd goal, you've got the crowd behind you, you've got attacking players on the pitch. I think you go for the 3rd goal and try to put the game beyond doubt, but nah, Steve Clarke's negative, and it kind of came back to haunt us when it went 2-2, but thankfully Kieran Tierney puts in a stunning goal, left foot at bang, keeper Schmeichel picked that one out, you sour-faced greeting bastard, so there you go, and then we got the 4th goal. I mean, can I really credit Steve Clarke for McLean scoring for the halfway line? Probably not. I'll give Steve Clarke a 6. I'll give him a 6. Look, it was a must-win game, and he won it. He deserves credit for that, but I also think that here, it was 3 moments of brilliance that really helped us win this game, rather than, amazing tactician skills that won us this match. I don't think it was the tactics that won it. I don't necessarily think it was the personnel changes. Now, people will argue that he brought McLean on, and he brought Tierney on, and he brought Shankland on, and those were 3 of the goal scorers, but again, that's just moments of brilliance. I don't think there was that tactically. I don't think we got much better by bringing those players on. As in general, as in all round, I don't think our team play improved that much with those substitutions. But, you got to give respect to Clarke. He did get the win. You got to give respect to the players that took to the pitch. They got the win. We win 4-2. Happy days. Now we move on to the World Cup. We don't need to worry about a playoff. We don't need to worry about anything like that. The Nations League playoff, the 2nd place playoff. We're in the World Cup. The only thing we need to worry about is the draw on we're already past November 5th, December 5th. So I'm looking forward to that. Should be good. And at this point I don't even care who we get. I'm just happy that we're going to be at the World Cup, guys. So there's my ratings for the players. Let me know what you think down below. I think I'm being fair. Let me know if you think I'm being harsh or not. It's all subjective at the end of the day. Fans react to come, and obviously we've got the European review show too, so looking forward to that. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Till then, I've been Fog Football. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe, and peace.